just about to reveal 7 different ways that you can use ChatGPT in order to make money, so let's get started. I'm sure you know how ChatGPT works, so I'm not gonna bore you with the technicalities here. I just want this video to be a practical guide that you can follow along with. That being said, ChatGPT has got some insane capabilities, and we're gonna take full advantage of it. Not only can he explain difficult concepts in simple terms and come up with creative ideas, but he can even write code. And so the very first way you can leverage those capabilities is by helping other people with their assignments. To be a little bit more precise, what you can do is connect to studypool.com and click on Become a Tutor. What's gonna happen is that you will be helping students with their assignments in all sorts of different subjects, ranging from humanities to business to mathematics or programming. That's entirely up to you, but ChatGPT can do them all. And the thing about tutoring on studypool.com is that this is not a full-time job. You're an independent contractor, which means that you can work as much or as little as you want. And their top earners are making upwards to $7,500 on a monthly basis working from home, so that's pretty impressive. There is a lot of money to be made. And to be a little bit more precise, here are the kinds of assignments we're talking about. You can actually take a look at the most recent questions and see what people need help with. For instance, this user right here has a question about religion, and they need to do a comparison of Islamic sacred texts. If you can help them with that, then you can get yourself a pretty decent payout of $20 for a single assignment. And again, this is how their top earners are making multiple 5 figures. We've got Alan Mitch here, who's a tutor on Studypool and has made over $91,000 so far. But now let's just give it a try. Let's see if he can actually do the job. Remember, we need help with the comparison of Islamic sacred texts, right? I'm simply gonna copy this text and send it over to ChatGPT. And let's just see if it has an answer for it. I'm pretty sure it does. Take a look at this. It didn't even take a minute and ChatGPT has just started giving me the answer. Remember, this tool has a huge database that it's working with. It doesn't have the ability to browse the web, it's not connected to the internet, but it has a huge database, so chances are most of the times it will have an answer for your questions. And in case you're not satisfied with the result, you can keep on asking it for improvements. You can ask it to give you a more detailed response, you can ask it to keep things simple and explain it in simple terms. You've got full control here. And the absolute best part about this method is that you don't have to stick to a single subject. It can answer questions regarding law, writing, humanities, engineering, you name it. That being said, let's move on to the second method. And just like the first one, this is not really going to require a lot of work from your end. ChatGPT will do most of the hard work, so you can just enjoy the profits. What I want you guys to do is connect to namingforest.com, and it's a pretty cool concept. Every once in a while, these guys are going to organize a so-called naming contest, meaning that businesses will connect to namingforest.com, they will pay these guys a specific amount of money, and then it is your responsibility to come up with a suitable name for that business, depending on their field of activity and what they specialize on. You get to submit your name, then they will basically rank those, they choose the winner, and you get paid for each and every single one of the rounds you win. I hope that makes sense. Just to give you guys a little bit of perspective, in order for a business to connect to Naming Forest and launch a contest, they need to pay $199. So there is a pretty substantial amount of money on the table. And if you want to grab your piece of the pie, all you need to do is win the contest. Just for reference, here's a $500 contest, here's another one that will pay the winner $100, and here's another option for $200. This one is pretty simple as well. This one is in the street clothing e-commerce industry. It's an online store, a private brand that sells apparel to men worldwide. Let's actually read the whole description. I'm not just gonna do that, I'm also going to ask ChatGPT for suggestions. So let me just copy that business description, head over to ChatGPT, and you can ask it for multiple different options. And look at this. Now remember, ChatGPT is a language model, which means that you don't have to write any code. You can just ask it in natural language as if you're talking to a real person, and it will understand the assignment, as you can spot, and actually deliver. We've got ourselves 10 different options. So at this point, you can just browse through these, pick the one that you prefer, and send it over to namingforest.com. If you win this contest, you just got yourself $100 for 2 minutes of your time. That's all it took for ChatGPT to come up with this. So it's a pretty cool side hustle, to say the least. And on that same note, something very similar you can do is actually take part in slogan contests. What you can do is connect to hatchwise.com and start browsing, and you will see all of the contests that are running right now. For instance, this one is paying $300 to the winner. Here's another $150 prize. and I could keep on going. Some of these are very generous, as you can tell, and it works in a very similar way. A business will basically share their details and their vision. They will give you all the details you need about their field of activity and what they are actually doing, so you can come up with a suitable slogan. And if you happen to be the winner of this contest, you just got yourself an extra $300, $150, and so on and so forth. The process is literally the same. All you need to do is just copy that business description, send it over to ChatGPT for suggestions, and chances are this tool will come up with a pretty suitable slogan within seconds. And of course, you can ask it for multiple options and you can choose the one you prefer, just as you did with the naming contest. But now guys, I gotta tell you, all of these methods we've covered so far are rather simple, they're very straightforward, and so they're not very scalable either. So you can make a decent amount of extra cash on the side by implementing these methods alone, but if you really want to take things to the next level and take full advantage of ChatGPT, here's a better option. You can connect to places like listverse.com, iWriter, or TextBroker and actually sell articles online. But instead of creating these articles yourself from scratch, you can make use of ChatGPT, and here is how. But I want you guys to pay attention to this because there's a wrong way to do it and then there's the correct way to do it that is actually going to get you paid. And this is something that a lot of people miss out on. The way iWriter and TextBroker and listverse.com work is actually very simple. They will give you a specific topic and you have to write a relevant article on that topic. Also, the way you sign up on the websites is fairly simple too. When it comes to iWriter, all you need to do is click on Write Content. That's gonna send you to the Writer application, and at this point you can add in your credentials. But here's the most important part. They will ask you to actually write an article on a specific topic as a sample, just so they can assess your level of expertise, whether or not you can do a good job. In this case, the title of this article would be, what is the #1 way a company can be successful with social media marketing? Now, of course, we can connect to ChatGPT and ask it to do that for us. Can you write an article about this? Now let's just paste it and ChatGPT will follow our instructions. But there's a big problem when it comes to this. Remember, ChatGPT has a huge database that it's working with, so it is going to reference multiple different sources. This article right here is not 100% original, which means that we might get in trouble when it comes to copyright. And let me actually prove that to you. I'm simply going to copy one of these paragraphs and send it over to Grammarly for the plagiarism check. Simply gonna click on this option right here, and at this point Grammarly will search all over the internet for similar sources. If you can find anything, it's gonna point it out. And in this case, 33% of the text is actually plagiarized from multiple different sources. But most of these websites have a zero plagiarism policy. As you can spot, iWriter.com is only accepting 100% original content, and that's a major problem. Most people will tell you that you can just connect to ChatGPT, ask it to write articles, and resell those online, but it doesn't work. The way you want to do this is a little bit more complicated than that, but it is worth it. Here's how I would personally do it, and I think this is the best approach. What you want to do as soon as you get a new assignment is actually take a moment to write that text yourself. Do your research, search all over the web, and write that article yourself, even if it's not good, even if English is not your first language. Just do the work. Once you've done that, you need to connect to ChatGPT and ask it for improvements, and that's the best way to use it. Instead of just being lazy about it and outsourcing the work to ChatGPT, which doesn't work, what you can do is take your time and write the article yourself, and then improve it using artificial intelligence. Just to prove that it actually works, I'm just gonna copy that paragraph and ask you for improvements. Can you add humor to this? Let me just paste that and hit enter. And believe it or not, ChatGPT can even add humor to a text, which is pretty insane to me. But let's move on to number 5 on the list. An alternative way you can use ChatGPT to make money is by reaching out to businesses, and I'm talking about physical businesses such as dentists, lawyers' offices, a barbershop in a specific city, and using ChatGPT to improve your emails. Here's the thing, most physical businesses will have a website, and they will also have a way that people can contact them. More often than not, that is done via email. So you can literally pick any business that is listed on the web and you can reach out to their email address. And once you do that, you want to make sure that you can actually help them out by offering all sorts of different services. We're talking about social media management, for instance. Let's say that you have a little bit of extra time on your hand and you can manage their Instagram account. That can get you an extra $500 a month quite easily. You can manage their emails, you can reply to comments, you can take care of content, and so on and so forth. Alternatively, you can help them with search engine optimization. You can help them rank up on Google a little bit better when people search for a dentist, in this case, in their area. And that's also going to drive up their sales, so they make more money. It's a win-win situation. The way you use ChatGPT is by asking it to improve your emails, because most of these businesses won't even read your emails, let alone reply to them. And that's why you need to do a good job when it comes to outreaching. Alternatively, you may want to work as a freelancer. This is method number 6, and what I want you guys to do is connect to a freelancing website like Fiverr, and you can take advantage of the writing and translation section. Anything that has to do with writing, ChatGPT can help you with. It doesn't matter if we're talking about creative writing, book editing, script writing. For instance, you can work as a YouTube script writer and help people write their scripts for their YouTube videos in exchange for a pretty generous payout. I mean, some of the best freelancers here, some of the best sellers are charging multiple $100s for a single script. Again, you don't just want to be lazy with it, you don't want to outsource the whole work to ChatGPT because of the copyright related issues. What you want it to do is improve your work. It's literally like a genie in a bottle that can help you take your text to the next level. And consequently, you can charge more for your services because of the better quality. And last but most certainly not least, we can stick to the writing and translation category on Fiverr, and we can focus on copywriting. But I want you guys to understand that when it comes to copywriting, at least, the riches are in the niches. So you want to find a very specific area of expertise. That can be email marketing. You can be writing copy for sales pages and sales funnels. You can be writing ebooks for other people. This is by no means a new side hustle. It's not a new opportunity. It's been around for quite some time. But thanks to artificial intelligence, it's just become easier than ever. So you've got all the resources you need to make this work. That's it for now, and thanks for watching.